Welcome to Corinth, or at least in this case, the Acrocorinth. Forgive me if I'm out of breath, forgive me if I'm out of words, because my mouth is dry. It's taken me an hour and a half to walk up here, but the view is worth it. But let's have a look what else we can see from up here, because this place is amazing. It's stacked with history. It's astonishing. So I hope you enjoy. So here we are entering the Acrocorinth, which is, as we see it now, a Byzantine castle dating from about the 12th century, but heavily reinforced by the Turkish from about 715. And there's been evidence of acropoli or fortresses up here for about 3,500 years, but this one is really known for its medieval period, and it's built on a monosyllabic rock which overlooks the Corinth Peninsula or Isthmus and is hugely geopolitically important in the history of Greece itself. Looking here out over the Ionian Sea to the north of the Isthmus and down towards Patras. Quite astonishing. This place just keeps going up. 3 layers of fortification, 3 walls, but being 600 or 700 meters up, fairly defensible. This gate, having got up the hill, and then you walk up here and you're faced with a huge fortification to go in the second gate. This place was very, very defensive. When you look at it, it would have been almost impossible to approach this gate without being killed on the way up. Just impossible. Huge defensive towers either side surrounding it. Looking at the wall here on this defensive tower by the gate, you can see the change in construction. This to me looks like it was probably pre-Roman, so maybe Hellenistic period, 300-400 BC. So here I am on top of one of those 2 defensible gate towers, and you can see amazing views down to the car park. It's a relatively easy drive up here. Just put it into your sat nav and you can follow it up here. We are about only an hour from Athens, so if you have a hire car and you want to drive here, it's very doable. And as you'll see in the rest of my video, there's a lot to see here, not just the Acrocorinth. That originally there was a temple of Athena up here, which obviously means that there were people up here during Hellenistic times, 400, 500 BC. But it then became a church in Roman times, late Roman times. And then when the Ottomans were here, it became a mosque. And I wonder if this is it. There are several mosques up here, so it's very difficult to know. But it's an impressive structure regardless. It's closed now, but you can see amazing construction. The view over the Ionian Sea and Greece here from the Acrocorinth is just amazing. But I have to go up a little bit further if I want to see both the Ionian and the Aegean Seas and Corinth. So off we go. Everywhere in Greece I seem to visit at the moment, this is hills, hills, hills. Panel, panel, panel. This is not one that I would recommend yet again for the children, because you can't get a pushchair up here and it's exhausting. Children will find it interesting for 5 minutes and then it'll be miserable. I really come here today with one objective, which is to get to the top. But you can see the Acrocorinth is ringed by one continuous wall, and it's a hell of a fortress. It's meant to be the biggest and the best in the Peloponnese. But I tell you what, it's taken me an hour and a half to get up here, and I'm not at the top yet. So if you wish to follow my footsteps, be prepared for that. It's not an easy climb. Bring water, even in January, February. It's February today, late February. It's hot. Don't come in summer. If you do, lots of water, lots of sunscreen, big hat. It's all I can recommend. But I would come earlier in the year or later in the year to be honest. At the foot of the Acrocorinth is the original Corinth, or Ancient Corinth. I'm actually incorrect in saying that. I say original Corinth. It wasn't. It was destroyed in 142 BC by the Romans. Then, in the distance here, we can see modern Corinth, which was established in 1858, after the original Corinth, which had been rebuilt at least 3 times, was destroyed by another earthquake in 1858. So they then established a new town 3 kilometers away over there on the coast. And then in the far distance, we can see, and you can just see it, the Corinth Canal, which is of course one of the most famous tourist attractions in Greece. And everyone comes here to visit it. But you can also see, therefore, the Aegean there and the Ionian at the other end where we started from. So this is a fantastic place to come and visit. We should talk about the Acrocorinth, which is huge. It's the biggest, grandest fortress in the Peloponnese, and it guards the entrance to the Peloponnese. In order to get down into the Peloponnese, either to Kalamata or up to Patras, you first have to pass this place. And so its history is checkered with battles and fortifications and castles. And up here on the top, you get a view as to perhaps why. It's just astonishing, the views and the land that it dominates, with the Ionian here. And I'm not sure what I'm standing on. It's a building on the very highest point. I've been looking for the Temple of Athena, and I suspect I may have found it. You would build it, I think, on the highest spot. But as well as the Temple of Athena, this was at one time a church and also a mosque. The ramparts and the fortifications here, they would have been garrisoned, they would have been manned 24 hours a day. And they run right the way around this hill, although from the top of the hill you can't really see it. It's a beautiful spring day in February. I think spring has come to Greece, and my advice very strongly is don't come here in the summer. Don't come to the Acropolis in the summer. Sure, you can do Corinth Canal or Ancient Corinth, but this is going to be too hard. You have to come here January, February, maybe March, or October, November, December. It's going to be really, really hard otherwise. So from this point here, we probably get the best view of the curtain wall that defends the top of this Acropolis. Imagine building this thing, imagine bringing the rocks up here. I mean, just astonishing, completely impregnable. Which is why the gates were so strong, of course, because that was the only weak point. You can imagine defending this place. You must have felt very secure in here, very comfortable. I can see why. Two peaks, if you like, to this rock. We've just been on one of them, and this is the other one. And the first one obviously had what I think probably was the Temple of Apollo, but of Athena. But if I'm wrong, I apologise to those who know better than me. And then this one is obviously very clearly fortified. I'm not going too near the edge because I know it's a big drop, and my mother wouldn't be very happy with me if I fell over. My wife probably not either. So I'm just walking up to give you a view of the fortification up here. Here we are. You get a good view of the sort of terrain that you have to climb to get up to these walls, let alone over them. That's why I stay away from the edge. Look at it. It's just magnificent. Over there in the far distance, we have Argos. And then across the mountain range you can see at the back, we have Sparta. Always climbing in Greece. Here, as we come up the top, we have a view of the other peak that I was on a few minutes ago with the Temple of Athena. And here, the Ionian Sea, with Thebes somewhere over in the distance. Athens to the right, Sparta and Argos behind us. Oh my God, I don't know how you get in here. And I'm not sure I want to find out, really. Keep going, I don't fancy going down further. But anyway, here we go. One thing they love in Greece is health and safety. You can see they pay attention to it. I keep thinking if I was in the UK now, there's no way you'd be allowed up here without serious fencing and safety precautions. But in Greece, they don't want to ruin the origins of their history. Here, down here, brilliant view of the second gate, which we came in, down to the, you can't quite see it, but the first gate that we came in. And you can see monumental Byzantine architecture. That ring of wall runs all the way around this. You catch glimpses of it now and again, up to the Temple of Athena and the peak that we were on, and as we know, around the other side. Here is the mosque. There are actually a couple of mosques here. There's another one, I don't know if we can get it, down here. Yeah, you can sort of see it. I very much doubt these fortifications were here in pre-Roman times. They might have been, I might be wrong, but I don't see a lot of evidence of it. But clearly, gun emplacements, you could shoot a long way with a cannon from up here. And it's just worth visiting if you have the stamina for it. I feel better now, having having done the major climb, I feel a lot better. You can see the wall here, big solid wall, 3 meters maybe thick. And you get into this castle up here, which is going to be interesting. This tower. So this was a Frankish tower, built in about 1248 apparently, for William of Sicily, I think that's right. And we're 530 meters above sea level here, which shows you how far I've had to climb. And it was his palace. It was where he lived safely within the walls of the castle and was able to go about his day-to-day business of governing this area, ruling this area, I suppose. And, you know, William of Sicily, no different to Agamemnon, who ruled Mykines in 1600 BC, so what, almost 2,000 years before him. They were warlords, and this land was fought over continually for 2,500 years. That's the whole history of this land. That's why it looks like it does. And it's incredibly fertile, which made it incredibly exciting for people. As I said, health and safety, you want to be really careful here with these steep steps, particularly when you're carrying a camera. Who's stupid enough to carry a camera up here? I don't know. But let's have a look inside. I'm not sure I'm going to go to the top. It's a bit steep, and I've already hurt myself. Look at it, cut into the bedrock. Oh, I'm going to have to go to the top, aren't I? I presume not the original steps, but these certainly are. Look at these. Small palace. I guess there was more to it than this. And a bit of health and safety, finally. Although you can clack your head here if you're not careful. Oh my God. Here we are. Top of a 900-year-old Frankish tower on top of a 530-metre rock in the middle of Greece. What a view! What a view! And you can just about see ancient Corinth down below. Not quite. As I stand on the top of this Frankish castle, who are interested in a little bit of history about it, obviously something stood here before the Byzantine Castle, but the Byzantine Castle is what we see now and is the main event. It was built in 1248 by the Frankish and held by the Frankish until about 1668 when the Venetians conquered it. After that, I think it was actually sort of given to them, but anyway, after that, in 1715, the Ottomans came and took it from the Venetians, as they did a lot of things in this area, and it was held by the Ottomans until 1833, when it was given over to the Greeks under the Treaty of London, settling the Greek independence war against the Ottoman Empire, where the Greeks established their own state in 1832. And Corinth itself was considered potentially to be a capital of Greece after this time, although the original title went to Nafplio, which is not far over to my right, and then it moved to Athens. Quite rightly so too. Hope you've enjoyed my little video of the Acrocorinth. It's an amazing place. I would not do it on its own. If you're coming here, do the Acrocorinth first, and then go down and do Ancient Corinth and perhaps the Corinth Canal on the way back. You don't have to do modern Corinth, although those are the 4 if you're going to do the set. And I look forward to seeing you in other videos. This is a challenging one in terms of the physical need to get up here. So only come up here if you're feeling really strong. But I look forward to seeing you in my other videos.